Welcome back to another episode of Work in Progress. Today, I'm sitting down with Judy Pamela Marie Austin, who has completed an off-campus internship at Squirro, as well as her supervisor and Clemson alum, Conor Leddy. Judy worked as a U.S. Sales and Business Development Representative and will be graduating in December 2026. Conor serves as the VP of U.S. Sales, and he graduated from Clemson in 2017. We are here to talk all about her experience interning off-campus and how you could find yourself in a similar situation during your time at Clemson.
All right. Hello, Judy and Connor. Thank you so much for both being here today. How y'all doing?
Excellent, Ashley. A pleasure. Looking forward to getting all things Clemson and Squirro and professional development.
Perfect.
I'm happy to be here. Can't wait to get started.
First, we're going to start with Judy. So, for my first question, can you tell me what your off-campus internship was and what you did in the position? And just give kind of a quick rundown of some projects that you worked on.
Absolutely. So this past summer, I had the opportunity to work at Squirro, which is an AI company based out of New York. I was in a sales and business development internship through the whole summer, later on transitioning into a sales and business development rep in late October. So our company is an AI startup focused on helping large organizations organize and use their data more effectively. So my role on the business development was helping grow the company's presence in the United States market. A lot of my work was researching companies, reaching out to potential clients, and starting conversations on really how AI and enterprise knowledge platforms can help their organizations. So throughout my internship, I conducted large campaigns where I sent thousands of emails and made hundreds of phone calls with potential clients, then moving forward to learning how to do introductory phone calls and pitch to C-suite executives. So I worked on multiple prospects lists that totaled to thousands of clients in
Yeah.
industries like consulting, financial service, and government. I also worked closely with my sales team on learning the handoff rotation between a pitch and introductory call, handing off opportunities and qualifications to the account executives, and watching that end-to-end deal cycle of sales to delivery to post business cycles. So, for example, when I first started this summer, we had a graphite campaign which generated several new leads, including potential opportunities that got to go forward. I also helped prepare research and scopes for conversations with companies like Rockefeller, Library of Congress, World Bank Group. It was really valuable experience because I got exposure with the full sales cycle from early outreach and qualification and all the way through client conversation and strategic planning.
That all sounds awesome. And I'm assuming you enjoyed it.
Oh, absolutely. I am so happy to be with Squirrel. It's hands down best experience I've had in my entire life.
For my next question, how did you find your position? And then what was the application process like?
Yeah, so it's funny you ask. What's interesting is this opportunity actually started through Clemson's alumni network. I connected with
Okay.
Conor through TigerLink, and which is our Clemson alumni networking
Mhm.
platform. And I originally started out by researching and reaching out to professionals in many different areas as I was experiencing a career change and wasn't sure where I wanted to end up.
Yeah.
We had conversations about his experience after Clemson and what it looked like looking in the tech field. From there, we stayed in touch, and eventually the opportunity came up, and I was able to get involved with an internship at Squirrel. So I went through multiple different interviews, which finally landed in my position of an internship this past summer. So the process was really relationship driven rather than just
Mhm.
submitting an online application. It really showed how powerful networking can be and how
Mhm.
Clemson alumni are willing to help students who are curious and motivated.
I love that. I also love that you talked about TigerLink. We love pushing that for students. So that's awesome that you found that. Can you speak to how off-campus internships can help students find connections to the Clemson Alumni Network?
Yes, of course. So as Judy mentioned, definitely use the resources as best you can. TigerLink is definitely a wonderful platform where you can
Hmm.
connect with students, with alumni. So Judy was very persistent, asked to meet for an introductory call, got to learn more about her, and then my whole big thing is bringing people on that I believe who will outperform themselves and also
Hmm.
do better than me, right? So I look for students like Judy, and she's exceptional in what she's doing. So definitely take a look at Tigerlink. And I also
Hmm.
think take a look at alumni clubs, right?
Yeah.
So in New York City, where I'm based, our company is actually the HQ is in Zurich, Switzerland, but we have a big presence here in New York.
Hmm.
But there is a New York City Clemson club. I know the old
Hmm.
game day bar was actually the Liberty, but it's now transitioned over to the Rutherford, where they play the Clemson fight song and a bunch of
Oh, I
fans,
love it.
alumni come out. Yeah, so it's Death Valley North, they say. So I think
All right.
that's always great. There's definitely a strong knit community of Clemson alums in New York City and also
Hmm.
in the Northeast. So I think just connecting, watching a game, also just looking on LinkedIn to see who are the Clemson folks in the area, because at the
Yeah,
end of the day, Clemson is a family, and Clemson alums definitely want to give back to folks like Judy.
I love that. I know that our students are going to be very excited to hear that coming from an alum, that alums want to get to know them and want to help them in their journey. So that is awesome. Thank you. So then, Judy, back to you. How has your experience in your off-campus internship helped you prepare to enter the job market?
It's a very multifaceted question, but this experience helped me a lot because it gave me real exposure to how companies operate in the professional world. In the
Yeah.
classroom, we learn a lot about theory, but
Mhm.
internships show how those concepts actually play out in the real business situation. So I've learned how to communicate with professionals across different industries, how to research them and markets, and how to work in fast-paced environment teams. I also gained a lot of confidence by presenting ideas and speaking with people in leadership positions. One thing Connor tells me every day is fail young, fail hard, and fail fast. And
Oh, I
that
love
is
that.
the most important thing. I mean, being young, we need to take these risks and be able to adapt in situations and learn and grow from them. Another big takeaway was understanding, how quickly the technology and AI space is evolving, and being involved in
Mhm.
those conversations really helped where innovation is happening and where I want to focus my career moving forward.
Yeah, that's all awesome. I also love Connor's quote. That is a perfect thing for students to keep in mind. And I guess with that, you're also kind of you're putting those theories into practice. And I'm assuming that's also helping you then with your classes now when you're back,
Mhm.
correct?
Correct. So I'm a biochemistry major, which is totally not applicable to the business setting. I actually had a
Yeah.
conversation this morning with Dr. Burton at the Career Center, and I was
Yeah.
like, I am your very non-traditional business route. I don't have a background in business, but I have a background in biochem that shows I'm analytical. So, like, my advice to students with that is just because you chose a path in a major, it doesn't define the career you have to go in. There are so many opportunities and it's endless.
Yeah.
So don't let one little category of a degree direct your trajectory.
I love that. Perfect. What advice would you have for students who are looking for an off-campus internship?
Yeah, I think network,
Hmm.
that always helps a ton. And then just to piggyback what Judy was saying, right? Where we are right now is we're a scale up. When I started 7 years ago, AI and data analytics was a mythical creature. Now every C-level executive is thinking strategically, how do we bring this modern cutting edge technology into our organization in a
Hmm.
safe and ethical way, right? So I think it's
Yeah.
also really researching the demand on the times, and try to catch the market at the right time before it gets in the hype cycle, right? So
Hmm.
luckily, when I started at Squirro 7 years ago, I was employee number one in the U.S., and now we have over 200 employees
Oh,
globally
wow.
with over 100 plus enterprise customers. But I think it's the biggest thing is really taking that chance. And our CEO and co-founder gave me a really inspirational quote that success is never a straight line. It's more like a
Mm.
squiggly line where it goes back and forth, like a roller coaster, right? And it's
Yeah.
just being very resilient and always setting the new standard and trying out new things, failing, learning, getting better, having people
Hmm.
help with you on a team. And in the end, you can build a really strong company, especially what we have today. So hopefully that gives a little bit of insight from my side.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Connor said, my biggest piece of advice is be willing to take the initiative and reach out to people. A lot of opportunities come through conversations rather than just applying online. So, like we said before, using platforms like TigerLink, LinkedIn, it makes it easy to make those connections with not only alumni, but professionals who want to help students succeed. I would also say, stay curious and be willing to learn. When you approach these conversations, they can be scary and uncomfortable, but having that
Mhm.
genuine interest, people are much more likely to want to help and share their experiences and make you successful. Something Connor says every day to me is, I want you to be more successful than I am. And that is a good leader right there, as someone
Mhm.
trying to make you better as an individual.
I love that. All right. Well, for both of you, thank you so much for being here today and for talking about your experiences. I know I appreciate it a lot, and I know our center also appreciates it. And I'm hoping that our students take the advice that y'all gave. And thank you both again.
Excellent. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.